Yeah, I'm just making a random film. Um, I watched the Super Bowl recently. And, just before the game started, I posted on my Facebook wall my prediction. I said 24-17 for the Broncos, and it wound up being 24-10 for the Broncos. So my prediction was spot on for the winning team, but I was only one touchdown off for the Panthers. So yeah, I was telling some people at my job, about my really close prediction that I made. They thought that was pretty cool that I was, somewhat prophetic like that, clairvoyant like that, And, all in all, I guess it was a decent game for the most part, I guess. But, I was thinking that it would be maybe a little better, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. I'm not like the biggest football fan, really, I'm much more into baseball, actually. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming baseball season. And most New Yorkers, they're Yankee fans, but I'm a Met fan. And I follow the Yankees, I don't hate the Yankees. It's just they're not my favorite. Mets are my favorite, Always were, always will be, And, so I'm looking forward to them, Baseball's right around the corner. I used to pitch, varsity in high school. Pitched 1 year, I was a relief pitcher. I was pretty good too, but I had arm problems, stemming back to Little League days, actually. 85, I was a big time, what do you call it, whatever that word is. I was a huge, standout, prospect for maybe, I had a lot of potential, to go far, I was a real standout. I remember the exhibition season back in 85, we played 7 games, and we were playing maybe once every 3 days, and I pitched most of those games, actually 5 of them, and I won them all. I still remember that. And then when the regular season came around, I won the first 2 games, and then I got a relief save, and then I started having arm problems, and I didn't pitch much after that, I made a start, didn't work out, was out of there after a couple innings. I remember I was trying to pitch with a bad arm. I still remember that. And then later in the year, I made a relief appearance, and I remember I did all right. And that was about it for, and that was my last year in Little League. But the year before, in 84, I remember I pitched the last 2 games of the season, started them, and I won them both. And they were great games that I pitched too. And we had a humongous hitting team, I remember. I still remember those 2 games, especially that one, the first one. That was really memorable. I got 15 strikeouts and 7-inning complete game. I only allowed it was 4 runs, but a couple of them were unearned. Like I said, I pitched in high school just as a relief pitcher. That was pretty good. But then, you know, not too much after that, I remember 88, I started going out for the team, and then I just kind of quit after a few practices because I just wasn't feeling interested in baseball, I remember. You know, I just kind of dropped out of the team before we even played our first exhibition game. I just didn't have the interest, you know. My interest just got lost pretty quick, you know, and I was just much more into other things at that time, like, you know, like martial arts and filming, making like martial arts films, and driving. You know, that was the year I got my license. I had a pretty cool car back then, you know, 64 Nova. That was my first car. That was a fun car, you know. A lot of fun, a lot of good times. And then 89, I started playing. I remember, you know, I pitched a little bit like in practice, but there again, I lost interest. I dropped out after, like, what was it? Right away, beginning of the season, I dropped out. You know, I just wasn't interested. You know, I was just much more into my job at that time. I was getting ready to graduate high school, you know. But, yeah, you know, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, like my cars that I've had through the years. The 64 Nova, that was my first car. Had that for 6 months. And then after that, I had a Pinto, 74 Pinto. I had that for about a year. And then I had a 78 Malibu with a V8. And then after that, I got a Chevette. How long did I have the Malibu? I had that for about a year, same as the Pinto. And then I had a Chevette. That was my first manual shift car. It was a 4-speed. Gotta look at the timer. That was a fun little car, 83 Chevette. It said Scooter on the bottom of the Chevette. It was gray. It was an 83, and I got it in 90. So it was a 7-year-old car, and it had 41,000 miles on it. And I bought it off the original owner for $1,000. Car was in perfect shape. Can't get deals like that. You know, nothing near that kind of level in this day and age. I go on Craigslist quite a bit, and I see what people are charging, like, you know, $1,000. You know, if you're gonna get a car that cheap, it always needs a lot of work, and there's always like 200,000 or 300,000 miles on it. You know, and the cars nowadays, I don't really like them. I think they're too bulky. They're too wide and bulky, and I just don't like how they feel inside. It's like almost like there's too much room inside of the cars nowadays. I liked the Chevette. That was a fun little car. It was like driving almost like driving some kind of like go-kart, you know. It was so much fun driving that car, like on the back roads. That was like one of the funnest cars I ever had. And probably I missed that car more than any other vehicle I've had through the years. I'm probably going to cut it. Yeah, I got to cut it. I'm running out of time. I'll make a part 2 of this series.